Hey guys, in this video I'm starting some pansy seeds, so I want to bring you along and show you how my pansies look from last year too. Alright you guys, so I have this container that has a snapdragon that's not looking so good. I'm going to go ahead and remove the snapdragon and then we'll start the seeds. So I have a few different options for what I can do as far as pansies and violas go. I got a bunch of different seeds after I loved how this container here turned out. I think in this one I'm going to do the antique shades. I'll put the color up on the screen. That one was really beautiful. The other option I have is brush strokes and all summer king size mix. But let's do the antique shades. I love that this one has like really beautiful, I think it has some pastel colors. So what they're saying is that their seeds are going to take 4 to 7 days to germinate. We need to deadhead for continuous bloom, sun to part shade. Look at what's going on right now. We're going from shade to sun, and they say spacing 6 to 9 inches apart. In that container, I brought them so much closer than that, and look, they still look so amazing. And the little plants on top are freesias that used to bloom in the spring, and there's actually more bulbs, but we'll talk about that later. Stay for the end of the video for that. So as you notice, it says here to sow 8 to 10 weeks before the last frost. Okay, no, it's fall time. We're gonna sow these now. Pansies are a cool flower. They're in Lisa Mason Ziegler's book. Basically you can start them depending on your zone where you live. You could start them a lot sooner than that, and that's actually going to help produce a stronger, healthier plant with a much better root system. I'm going to try to work fast here because we are going into sun. There's actually not that many seeds in here. It says that there's, never mind, there's 50 in the packet. Maybe it just looks like that right now. So exactly to this, in this container, I'm putting them like around, this is probably around what, like just a few inches apart. I'm going to take off my gloves for this actually because it's not very comfortable with them. And you guys, these gloves are from the Dollar Tree store. Like, how does the Dollar Tree store have such good, cute gloves? I don't know. Maybe that's an idea for another video. Maybe I'll do things I buy at the Dollar Tree for my garden. I'm doing just one seed right now, but I'll probably go in and put a couple of seeds in just because they say, well, it looks like for this actually 99% germinated when they tested it. And something that I love to see here is that they say that these will tolerate a light frost. In climates with mild winters, they may be sown in late summer to fall. Oh, and they say direct sowing isn't recommended, but I direct sowed friends here next to us and they did amazing. So hopefully these will do the same. And honestly, for me here in my zone, I think that the hardest part for me about planting them in September will be just kind of keeping an eye on them, making sure that they're watered. Because look, today is, I believe it's the 24th of September, and it's going to be 98 degrees here today. Like, we have such warm, hot falls. All right, you guys, so I want to take you back all the way to the beginning because before this, I had a dahlia tuber growing in this container, and at the end of the growing season, it was around November, I think, I decided it was time to go ahead and remove the dahlia tubers, and I wanted to do something I'd never tried before, which was to plant some bulbs lasagna style. Here on the very bottom layer, I planted some daffodils, just like some classic yellow King Alfred daffodils. Then I went ahead and I added some flower food. In the second layer, I did tulips. These are specifically red impression tulips. The reason I wanted to use these is they're supposed to be perennial, so they're supposed to come back year after year. Then I had freesias and these crocosemia. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but these red flowers actually never came up. You'll see later in the video. Then I just topped it all off with soil. And I went ahead and planted pansies on the top. The great thing about pansies is their roots are so gentle and delicate, they don't get in the way of the bulbs. So after a few months, this was in February, I started seeing growth. We have pansies coming up, daffodils, and I think the other ones are freesias. This is in March. You could see we have daffodils, tulips. I even harvested some of the daffodils for a bouquet out of this container. Then in March, the pansies finally started to appear, and I love that when I started to deadhead some of the bulbs, that's when like the pansies appeared. So we constantly had a variation of what was going on in the container. So it went from bulbs to pansies, and now here in September, this is what the container looks like. As you could see, it's all pansies, a little bit of freesias coming up on top. I absolutely love the container. I even used pansies to do a little bit of baking. The picture on the right I found online, and it inspired me to use pansies in baking. I just used them as decor. You could actually eat them, but I didn't. So for overall thoughts, I highly recommend you try planting pansies in your bulb containers. They add such a fun element. They bloom for such a long time, starting in March, going through September, and they're still going strong. So highly recommend you try them out. This was the book that I had mentioned earlier, so let's check out what Lisa has to say about planting pansies. I started some foxgloves and I'm really excited about them. Where are you, pansies? Oh, here they are. Okay. So Lisa recommends sowing indoors, not covering them. Winter hardy to zone 7. So if you live in a zone 7 or higher, I'm in a zone 9. You could go ahead and start these earlier. It looks like deer like to eat them, so if you live in an area where you have deer, you're gonna need to spray some deer repellent. We don't really have to worry about that here. Another great page in the book is page 138. You could see that violas or pansies are listed on the very bottom there. Their winter hardiness zone down to 7, and it does say here sow indoors, but yeah, like I mentioned, mine did perfectly fine when I sow them outdoors. And then Lisa also mentions that her favorite combination are pansies with tulips, and I do have tulips in my container right over there. I'll end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Bye!